Hey, I'm Joe with RevZilla, and today we're taking a look at the Michelin Bib Mousse tire inserts available at RevZilla.com. Michelin invented the Bib Mousse back in 1984 specifically for off-road riding and racing. The reason for these is to prevent flats for good. There's no air inside of these like a traditional inner tube, so there's no way they could go flat from a puncture or a tear. You could literally just drill a hole right through these and they will not go flat. So let's talk about the name. Bib Mousse, it's a weird name. Bib is short for bibendum, which is the little Michelin man's official name, if you didn't know that already. And mousse is the French word for foam. So it makes sense because this is a foam tire insert. This is really close to probably what you're used to seeing in a pool noodle. If you've ever been in a swimming pool and messed with a pool noodle, it's a pretty similar texture and size. Don't put pool noodles in your tires. People have done that in the past and they melt pretty much immediately. So, but just as a comparison, it's a very similar shape and texture. So again, what these are for dual sport, enduro, and motocross bikes for use for off-road use only. These are not designed for on-road use because of the heat generated when you're riding a motorcycle on the pavement. So when it comes to pricing, they're between $140 and $160. And don't forget, if you do find them for less elsewhere, RevZilla has a price match policy in place to get you the best price possible. So again, when it comes to getting these on your motorcycle, these are available in an 18 or 19-inch rear and a 21-inch front. They are designed specifically to be used with Michelin off-road tires. There's some other folks out there that have run them in other brands of tires, but just be mindful that Michelin recommends that you only use these with Michelin tires. Fit is very important with these because they can't expand and contract like a traditional inner tube. So it's really important that the size of the mousse matches the interior size of the tire there, because if it's too big, if the mousse is too big for the interior cavity of the tire, it makes it really hard to get the tire and the mousse on the rim, and it makes it ride too firm. And also if it's too small, it can have an air gap between the mousse and the tire, which can create additional friction there. And friction creates heat, and heat is what kills these mousses. So just be really mindful that fit is very, very important. Refer to the size chart on the product page to see exactly what mousse is recommended for the tire that you're running on your motorcycle. So once you get these on your bike, I would say that these come in around 13 PSI. So that's pretty much the benchmark tire pressure that most people will start at when they go out for a dirt bike ride, and they can adjust it up and down according to the terrain. Now just be mindful that these aren't adjustable. The pressure isn't adjustable. It will stay at around 13 PSI feel from when you get them in the bike until they start to degrade. Over time, mousses will start to feel a little bit softer, and that's when you know they're coming up on maybe a replacement time. So as far as construction goes, these are a multicellular butyl construction. So essentially what that means is that it's a very tough foam construction. And you can see kind of just by me squeezing here about what the texture is like to get these on your machine. They are rated to handle sustained speeds of up to 80 miles an hour off-road. That's very fast for off-road riding and racing, but just be mindful again that they're not designed for road use really because of the heat that's generated from running a motorcycle on the pavement. So if you do plan on putting big pavement miles on your dual sport bike, you probably still want to maybe stick with heavy duty tubes or maybe some other alternate tire inserts that are out there. So when it comes to installation, be sure to check out my mousse install video for some additional tips and tricks to get these installed on your motorcycle. But really the takeaway is that you'll probably need about 4 or 5 tire irons, maybe a couple B-buddies, maybe a friend in the shop to just give you a hand with the initial install. But overall, the main thing that you need to consider is that the mousse lube that comes with these is really important. You'll need to make sure that the mousse is completely lubricated before you put it inside the tire. And what that does is really cuts down on the friction between the mousse and the tire, which cuts down on heat. Heat is what kills these things. So it's really important that you lube the mousse before you put it in a new tire. Now, I personally have been getting maybe 2 or 3 tires per mousse, so you will be able to reuse this in a few tires, and it really depends on the rider and what kind of terrain, what kind of power your bike's putting out, that kind of stuff, but I've been averaging about 3 tires per mousse. Now, I personally have been really happy with the results running mousses off-road. I don't have to worry about flats anymore. Man, it used to really tick me off when I would drive forever to go to a race and get a flat halfway through the first lap, only to have to turn around with no results. So it's really nice to not have to worry about flats at all anymore. Also consider the fact that you don't have to carry all those spare tubes and tools, axle tools and patch kits and pumps and all that kind of stuff. It's really nice to not have to worry about that, and you could really pare down your toolkit when you're riding off-road. But if you'd like to see what other riders have to say, click the info button on your desktop or mobile device to see other rider reviews. And as always, if you have any questions about these or anything else you see on our website, give our Gear Geeks a shout at 877-792-9455 or shoot an email to cs@revzilla.com. Thanks for watching our video today about the Michelin Bib Mousse tire inserts. I'm Joe, and I'll see you next time.